Mini-series premiere, the next chapter of Codename G.I. Joe begins here. Shanna Scarlett O'Hara is about to take on the most dangerous Black Ops mission of her career, infiltrating the mysterious rising power in Japan known as Clan Arashikage. Her one lead is her former partner Jinx turned Arashikage enforcer. Now Scarlett must use her very popular set of skills to survive undercover and discover a shocking weapon that could change the balance of power on Earth. Writer Kelly Thompson, Black Widow, Birds of Prey, and artist Marco Ferrari, Frontiersmen, introduce some of the most anticipated characters to the Energon Universe in ways you'll never expect. Scarlett is a comic book miniseries from Skybound Entertainment. The series is the third of 4 initial G.I. Joe miniseries set in the Energon Universe, which deal how the Transformers arrive on Earth causes the creation of G.I. Joe and Cobra. When her former friend Jinx disappears to become an Arashikage enforcer, Scarlett O'Hara decides to go undercover and infiltrate the clan. Presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics, Scarlett, Volume 1, Issue 1, The Energon Universe. There's a small island in Monaco where many lights are beaming, but not a boat is in sight. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a head pops up. It's Scarlett. Scarlett emerges from the water and finds a small cave where she can undress, dry off, and put on her party dress. Armed with a silencer, she has snuck onto the island to attend a party. This is not a party, but a human auction for women. Scarlett reports back to Control that she is in position and security is extremely heavy. She informs her team that she is unsure if the auction for human women will take place tonight. In Scarlett's earpiece, Control tells her, Intel says, no, the assets are not on site. You are to gather evidence and confirm buyers if possible. Investigate, not engage. Scarlett acknowledges. Understood. Control. As Scarlett identifies the buyer, she notices a symbol she can't place. However, we recognize it as the Arashikage symbol, the Japanese ninja clan. Scarlett may not recognize the symbol, but she does recognize Jinx. Scarlett immediately decides not to tell Control about Jinx, but wonders, what is she doing here? She notices that both security and non-security personnel are armed, leading her to disagree with the intel. She reasons the hostages must be on the premise. What else would be worth an armed heist at this specific moment? Scarlett observes that Jinx has her own security detail, adding another layer of complexity to the situation. Scarlett reports back to Control about 5 new armed players, but she understands Jinx doesn't want her involved. Despite this, Scarlett is unsure if she can honor that request. Upon entering the room, Jinx and her armed security cause many buyers to flee and draw guns against the ninja clan. Scarlett finds herself once again involved in the brawl and requests permission to engage from Control, but she is denied. Control states they are not authorized for engagement. Jinx appears particularly interested in rescuing one girl, while the other girls begin to flee, realizing they were going to be sold into human trafficking. Scarlett engages, knocking down one of the buyer security's personnel. She mocks Control's intelligence, questioning whether they still want to stick with the notion that there are no hostages present, given they are now loose and running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Scarlett requests permission to engage, but Control denies her. Despite this, Scarlett continues to take down the buyer security. Meanwhile, Jinx appears particularly interested in one of the girls and is seen running with her. Control says that is fact-finding mission. Only get intel on buyers and any assets they're trying to move. Ironically, Scarlett says understood as she keeps taking down security, and then somehow she finds her iconic crossbow on one of the security. Usually she uses the hand crossbow, but this will do. Control keeps reiterating to Scarlett we have no authorization to engage Scarlett. Killing all the soldiers and the security grounds around her have saved many women from being killed, or maybe even worse, human trafficking. Jinx is running away with one of the girls as a security guard, takes aim at them. Scarlett sends a crossbow arrow right through his wrist, seemingly saving Jinx. Control says your mission parameters have not changed. Do not engage. Despite this, Scarlett continues to engage. Jinx has a small smile on her face, and it also seems the girl rescued by Jinx is Asian, most probably Japanese. Scarlett says control the mission parameters may not have changed, but the situation on the ground suddenly has. I have hostages, and I'm ready for an evac. Scarlett helps save the day for all these women from human trafficking. As one of the soldiers reaches for his gun, Scarlett shows mercy by letting him live. She ties up the security personnel and those who have not fled and is ready for extraction. Control agrees. Back in Washington, D.C., Scarlett is being reprimanded for the international incident she caused. Scarlett responds, I suppose I would ask how the victims and their families feel about being home instead of us coming home with intel on where they were going to be. The general, clearly frustrated with her proactive approach, yells, get out of my damn office. Scarlett leaves, heading away on her rocket motorcycle. Scarlett arrives back home, immediately noticing the tape on the door has been broken. Realizing someone is inside, she draws her weapon, ready to confront the intruder. Scarlett senses the mystery guest is undoubtedly military. With her gun drawn and aimed at his back, the soldier introduces himself as Sergeant Stalker. He has a file on Scarlett and explains that he is recruiting her for a mission, likely for the new G.I. Joe team. Stalker also seeks information on Jinx, noting from the file that Jinx and Scarlett were once close. Scarlett's still cautious and curious about what Stalker knows and why he needs the information on Jinx. 4 years ago, Jinx and Scarlett were very close friends. Scarlett tells Stalker, recalling their past. She mentions Jinx's talents for gardening and her deep knowledge of plants. Scarlett's voice softens as she reminisces, hinting at the trust and bond they once shared. Stalker's intrigued by the symbols. Scarlett explains, it's just a code we developed over the years. It started as a warning system but grew into something more. There are codes all over the house if you know what to look for. The code you saw in Monaco, the one Jinx was leaving, meant don't follow me. Stalker then adds, and how do you feel about ignoring that message? Scarlett responds, I'm listening. Stalker continues, nobody will talk to you about Jinx because she went missing while trying to infiltrate Clan Arashikage, which is a rising power in the global arms race. But it's time to make our move. Remember some of the other players in this global arms race. Destro, who owns Mars Industry and is affiliated with the Dreadnoks, has recently come under the banner of Cobra Commander. We're aware that Cobra Commander is looking to recruit other rising powers in the global's arms race. Snowjob, also known as Harlan Moore, is flying the helicopter. They're 10 miles out and a plan to drop Scarlett off before reaching the mountain so they won't be heard. Scarlett knows Harlan Snowjob. He once helped her and Jinx out of a tough spot. He's a good guy in the field and they share drinks together. They're friends and Scarlett trusts him. When the signal is sent, Snowjob will pick up Scarlett, but she hopes it doesn't come to that. Scarlett jumps out of the airplane with skis, trekking across the 10 miles to reach the destination. She remarks, she knew I would come. She left another set of symbols. Our code is impossible to crack, not because we're some kind of geniuses, but because it's personalized. It's a language that makes no sense to other people. There's no trick or magician's keyword that will unlock it. It's just our memories. It's us. Scarlett realizes that Jinx doesn't want her to come. Scarlett has been found by the ninjas and the fight begins. She delivers the first blow with a roundhouse kick, then blocks the katana sword, following up with her own sword into the chest, and finally a palm strike to the face. The battle rages on as the ninja retrieves his sword, but Scarlett strikes again with a roundhouse kick, this time from her left hand. As he falls, she delivers a decisive blow right behind his head with the sword, leaving blood on the pristine white snow. Scarlett then swiftly leaps over the brick wall, continuing her mission with determination. Perched atop of the wall, Scarlett's thoughts race as she observes Jinx alongside a master and another ninja. Scarlett silently urges herself not to lose focus, reminding herself of the distance yet to cover before resting. She acknowledges Jinx's seemingly comfortable demeanor, recognizing that such composure is a necessity in the perilous world. With determination, Scarlett Scarlett charges towards the ninjas, ready to face them in the snowy battlefield, knowing that the hesitation could cost her dearly. Scarlett skillfully takes down multiple ninjas, each attack met with precision and ferocity. Some come at her by one, others in pairs, but she handles them all with a combination of roundhouse kicks and deft maneuvers with her katana. Her movements are fluid and deadly, leaving a trail of defeated ninjas in her wake. By the end of the intense battle, about 10 clan ninjas lie lifeless in the snow, testament to Scarlett's unmatched combat prowess. One ninja lands a punch to Scarlett's stomach, but she swiftly counters, driving her katana into his head. Another ninja rushes only to receive a punch right to the face. Scarlett knows this was the easy part. Now it's time for the hard part. Scarlett, walking towards the master after receiving a fresh punch to the stomach, speaks in Japanese. "My apologies for disturbing your sanctuary, Hard Master. My name is Shanna O'Hara, former U.S. military. I come with an offer." The master responds, "I'm listening. What is your offer, O'Hara?" Jinx is playing extremely close and difficult to read, stands by. Scarlett wonders, considering everything that has transpired and what she's trying to do for Jinx. Whose side is Jinx truly on? Flashback to a conversation between Stalker and Scarlett before she accepted the mission. Scarlett asks, "So why are you the only one other than me interested in bringing Jinx home after over 2 years missing?" Stalker responds, "I wouldn't say that's entirely correct, but I've seen you've been making requests." Scarlett says, "All denied. So why now? Why you?" Stalker explains, "I have some experience with clan Arashikage. I was trained there in part, and I put this mission together, small though it is, but I want you going in with your eyes open. Jinx is an asset we trained, and yes, we won her back, but it's not just about her. There's also a weapon." Scarlett remarks, "Of course, there's always a weapon." She then asks, "What's the play?" Stalker says, "I'd almost given up hope of trying this, Shanna, but Jinx signaling you, even telling you to stay away, that's a big break. It's a confirmation that there's an ally inside. It's just you and a pilot. Snowdrop drops you off, fight your way in on your own, and make Arashikage an offer they can't refuse." Scarlett presses, "You still haven't said the offer." Scarlett offers herself to join the ninja clan. As she makes her offer, many ninjas surround her. The master does not believe Scarlett and refuses to take the bait, putting her in real trouble. Just then, someone picks up her katana. Suddenly, from behind, Storm Shadow hits Scarlett, knocking her out. The master says, "Thank you, Storm Shadow." And Storm Shadow replies, "Of course, Hard Master. I live to serve." Next issue, presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics. Scarlett, Volume 1. Issue 2, The Energon Universe, The Lion's Den. She's good. She's the only other woman I've seen here. Are there more like her? There is no one else like Jinx. Scarlett and Storm Shadow on Jinx. What depths will Scarlett have to face to prove her loyalty to the Arashikage? Presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics. Scarlett, Volume 1, Issue 2, The Energon Universe. Locked deep in the Arashikage stronghold, Scarlett awakens to find herself tied to a chair. She goes over the mission objectives to herself: gain access to the Arashikage stronghold in Japan, reestablish contact with the missing embedded agent Jinx, if possible, secure the rumored Arashikage weapon. Mission 4, stay alive. The Arashikage do not have her in a medical bay. It looks like they are going to torture her. At least there is a nice view. The Arashikage guard had retrieved a lockpick from Scarlett's mouth, which serves as a diversion. She uses another tool, a razor blade hidden in her abdomen, to cut herself free. Before escaping, she spots a hidden message from Jinx: "Go hard." Scarlett, bleeding from her abdomen, spots a ninja and readies herself for the fight. Ready to bring it hard, she waves the ninjas in for battle. In Japanese, one of the ninjas screams, "Get everyone!" Scarlett, responding in Japanese, says, "You'll need more." As the ninja takes a swing, Scarlett delivers a powerful roundhouse kick. More ninjas arrive. 2 of them jump high into the air. Scarlett kicks a chair up, then with another kick sends the chair flying into the 2 ninjas, taking them down. Scarlett senses danger and quickly ducks as the gunfire erupts, a highly unusual tactic for the Arashikage. She spots something in a weapons case. The head ninja, clearly displeased with the use of the guns, gets up. Suddenly, Scarlett throws shurikens one of her trademark weapons from the original toy against the Arashikage ninjas. Scarlett expertly wields a sword she picks up from the weapon's case, slicing through her foes. One falls with a cut to the leg, another is struck through the chest, leaving only the head ninja standing. Scarlett jumps on a two-way mirror. Master Ninja has a shrunken in his head now, and he has a sword to his neck, but looking through the two-way mirror is none other than Storm Shadow. There are two imprints of Scarlett's feet on the mirror. Storm Shadow watches from behind a two-way mirror. He halts the remaining ninjas and tells Scarlett to follow him. They pass by Jinx, who is in deep training, and Scarlett recalls fond memories of their own time training together years ago. Seeing Jinx, Scarlett thinks to herself, the urge to call out to her is palpable. After years of wondering, worrying, and waiting, it's almost too much, but even the hint of a smile could give us away, and that could mean certain death for us both. Jinx is training in the dojo in the same way she used to train with Scarlett. Jinx is training Scarlett, and some key moments in the montage highlight Scarlett struggles and has a close bond to Jinx as friendship. Scarlett is not good at archery, visibly frustrated and grouchy, possibly due to the past boyfriend. Jinx, noticing her distress, offers a night of comfort between friends. Back to present day, Scarlett responds, I'm good. She's the only other woman I've seen here. Are there more like her? Storm Shadow replies, there is no one else like Jinx. Storm Shadow invites Scarlett to have tea with him and asks why she wants to join the Arashikage. Scarlett tells him there's no future for her in the United States military, and she is hoping to use her skill set for something more meaningful. The Hard Master enters and tells Scarlett, while we are impressed with your skills, the Arashikage value loyalty, honor, and sacrifice above all else. To prove yourself worthy of joining our clan, you must undertake a mission and retrieve the ancient weapon of unusual origin that was stolen from us by a Yakuza group called the Muganomi. The mention of a weapon of unusual origin certainly hints at something tied to Energon or the Transformers. The Hard Master continues, the Muganomi have aligned with an outside power to whom they intend to sell this weapon. Could this be Cobra, Mars, G.I. Joe? In Tokyo, Scarlett is in a helicopter preparing for a mission. She parachutes out of the helicopter, landing skillfully on top of a building. From there, she breaks into the building, demonstrating her expertise and agility. Scarlett knows that if she survives this mission and retrieves the weapon, she will be accepted into the Arashikage clan. The stakes are high, but her determination is unwavering as she continues her daring infiltration. Scarlett infiltrates the Sato Building 2, codenamed Tiger, dressed in high-tech white suit provided by the Arashikage clan. She quickly deduces that the Hard Master assigned her this mission because she was considered expendable. The thought crosses her mind, this is clearly a mission nobody expects me to return from. Scarlett contemplates the harsh reality, expendable enough that not returning from this mission is acceptable. She recalls how she learned to control her fear during missions. It's about knowing that whatever you're doing is worth dying for. That's the reason behind it matters. As she moves through the building, Scarlett reflects on her motivation. Scarlett has triggered an alarm. They know someone is here. However, all the reasons she has to see this mission through, Jinx is the one worth dying for. As she leaps down the building, a voice watching her on security orders the building to go into full lockdown. As the alarm blares, Scarlett thinks to herself, all the reasons are not worth dying for, except for Jinx. Jinx is worth dying for, and I decide that before I took the mission. Next, presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics, Scarlett, Volume 1, Issue 3, The Energon Universe, Death Trap. Scarlett has fought her way to the Arashikage's final test, a death-defying mission that could change the clan's fortunes. But where do Jinx's loyalties truly lie? Presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics, Scarlett, Volume 1, Issue 3, The Energon Universe. At Sato 2, the Tiger ground floor, Scarlett descends into the depths of the Muganami controlled area through an aquatic tank. She is on a mission searching for a weapon as part of her final test to become a member of the Arashikage clan. Scarlett says, "My objective is underground, so even being insane enough to fall from the penthouse to the lobby doesn't mean much, since most of the Muganomi forces are amassed below the lobby anyway in the sub-basement levels." Meanwhile, the security speaking in Japanese mistakenly believes Scarlett is still in the tank. Scarlett is willing to navigate through an 8-story aquarium filled with massive sharks, among other dangers, to bypass most of the security. She narrowly avoids an encounter with a shark as she makes her own exit from the tank. According to the plans, the power source is located 6 levels down. On the first floor of Sato 2, Scarlett draws her katana and a tranquilizer gun, preparing for the many soldiers armed with their own katanas. Knowing she must avoid the bulk of the security forces, Scarlett lets the first wave of guards pass by as they search for her. Managing to reach the sub-level, Scarlett swiftly tranquilizes the operatives in the security control room while the guards continue searching for her. Scarlett inadvertently draws the attention of the Muganami enforcers, each armed with katanas. She quips to herself, "I suppose it was too much to hope that was all of them. I feel like an innocent tourist lost on the way back from the bathroom, but that won't work here. All this gear makes that a tough sell." As the enforcer lacking firearms hurls ninja stars at her, Scarlett opens fire, knowing there's no room for pretense in this fight. Scarlett takes out all the soldiers with swift precision, using her katana to dispatch them one by one. She delivers a powerful roundhouse kick, knocking out 3 security guards at once. Though she fights them off successfully, she is wounded in the process. Her determination and skill keep her standing. The security team has figured out that Scarlett is heading for the control room on sub-basement 6, presenting a significant problem for her. As she enters the elevator, she feels like she is catching a rare break on this mission. It's a series of small, seemingly insignificant moves that might end up working to her advantage later. As more enforcers approach, Scarlett uses her bleeding to her advantage, creating a trail that makes it seem as though she is headed back up the building. The misdirection buys her some time as she continues her descent towards the control room. Meanwhile, at the Sakura building, Storm, Shadow, Jinx, and the rest of the Arashikage are engaged in a fierce battle against a legion of Muganami forces. Jinx voices her concern about whether Scarlett, whom she refers to as Storm Shadow's white girl, will succeed in her mission. However, reaching sub-level 6, Scarlett reflects on the Arashikage's 2-pronged plan of attack. She knows that Sato 2, the Tiger, is heavily fortified with both fighters and advanced technology, as expected when guarding a powerful one-of-a-kind weapon. However, the secondary security envelope is here in the sub-basement of Sato 2. Without dismantling this, the treasures of Segura remain impossible to access. Scarlett realizes that if she doesn't shut down the security system, the Arashikage will be cut to ribbons in Sakura as they try to retrieve their weapon. Jinx will be in grave danger. Though everyone only focus on the weapon, Scarlett is concerned about Jinx. She just wants her back. Scarlett primes a handheld explosive device. Scarlett hurls a handheld explosive into a machinery, aiming to dismantle the security system. However, her escape is abruptly hindered by the appearance of the final boss. The formidable opponent swiftly strikes, landing a cut on Scarlett with a katana. Determined and unfazed, Scarlett draws her own weapon, ready to face the battle head on. Scarlett and the final boss engage in a fierce sword fight, trading powerful blows. In the midst of the battle, Scarlett delivers a roundhouse kick and reaches for her crossbow, but her opponent strikes back, forcing her to defend herself. Relentlessly, Scarlett finally manages to shoot him with the crossbow as he falls. She apologizes to the final boss. Before she can catch her breath, another wave of enforcers arrive. Scarlett quickly detonates the bomb, triggering a massive explosion. Amid the chaos, a guard urgently communicates in Japanese, "Tell everyone, secure Sakura. Security is down. Code black for Tiger. Code black for Sakura." As Scarlett narrowly escapes the explosion, her only thought is, "Hope that did it, Jinx." With the entire complex compromised, the Muganami shift their focus to securing the weapon in Sakura. The Arashikage clan, led by Storm Shadow and Jinx, decimate the Sato guards. Jinx, astonished, says, "She did it. I can't believe it." Storm Shadow responds, "Your doubt in me continues to delight me." Jinx replies, "I wouldn't put it that way." Storm Shadow smirks and says, "You don't have to. I did." Scarlett makes her way to Taiga's roof before swinging over to Sakura, where Jinx stands waiting for her. Finally reunited, Jinx tells Scarlett that she's missed her, but their reunion is interrupted by a call over the radio. The buyer has arrived. Above them, a Cobra helicopter lands on the roof. Next, the soul of the Arashikage, presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics, Scarlett Volume 1. Issue 4, the Energon Universe. "Glad you made it. Piece of cake. So where is this thing? I almost got killed for it. Can I at least set eyes on it?" "What happened to piece of cake?" Quote, Storm Shadow and Scarlett. "Everything converges as Arashikage must keep the weapon from falling into the hands of a new enemy." Presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics, Scarlett Volume 1, Issue 4, the Energon Universe. On the 47th floor of Sato 3, Sakura, Jinx uses her and Scarlett's secret code to silently communicate, warning Scarlett that there are eyes and ears everywhere, so they must be discreet. Jinx introduces herself in Japanese, noting they haven't officially met yet. Scarlett asks if their mission is complete now that the energy shield is down, but Jinx replies that they're not finished and that Storm Shadow will have to explain the next steps. Jinx and Scarlett enter the room where Storm Shadow is waiting, and they notice a glowing pit in the center. Storm Shadows explains that the energy shield came down, but as they approached, the floor unexpectedly opened up. Scarlett observes the pit and remarks, "Well, it's big enough to fit a person. Do we follow? It's shallow." Storm Shadow speculates it must have dropped just under the floor and moved to another level. Quite clever as last gambits go. However, the Muganonami forces have been amassing on level 44, so we're preparing a strike force there. You two take the service stairs down and find a different way in. I'll meet you there. Scarlett begins to suspect that they might actually be a trap. As Storm Shadows makes his way to floor 44, Jinx uses an EMP device to disrupt any surveillance, granting the two a brief 2-minute reunion. Storm Shadow crashes onto floor 44, drawing his katana as he prepares for battle. Storm Shadow charges into battle, cutting down the Mugagami forces with his katana and delivering a powerful roundhouse kick. He strikes another soldier in the face before taking out 2 or 3 more with his blade. Leaping high, he takes down yet another enemy, then uses his katana to slice an attacker coming from behind. These are the crucial 2 minutes Jinx referred to earlier. Jinx quickly asks Scarlett, "Do you have a burn bag on you? I've got intel stash all over me." Scarlett replies, "Of course, check the lining of my left boot." Jinx says, "Did you come on your own or did they send you?" Scarlett answers, "It's a bit of both. A guy named Stalker sent me. You know him?" Jinx responds, "Yeah, Stalker helped me get into this mess. Good to know he still cares that I'm in it." Scarlett says, "Jinx, if you wanted out, why'd you tell me not to follow you? Your first code, don't follow me." Jinx replies, "Because I want you alive, Scarlett." Scarlett interprets Jinx, "I want you alive too. You thought I could just ignore seeing you in Monaco after you've been missing for 2 years? I don't know what could have stopped me from coming. Maybe nothing." Jinx says, "I know, but I was afraid. It's one thing for this mission to get me killed. It's another for it to kill you too." They both say, "I miss you," as they hug each other. While they're hugging, Scarlett says, "While we're hugging and you can't attack me, I need you to know that most of our plants are dead or dying." Scarlett then adds, "I'm trying not to hate myself. They miss you. Nothing I do works." Jinx replies, ironically, "Murderer." Jinx hands over the intel as Scarlett says, "I just realized handing over your intel means you're not planning to leave with me. Snowjob is here waiting for my signal. Just walk away with me right now." Scarlett continues, "We don't have to go to 44. war. We can walk out the front door and disappear into the city while everyone's fighting over this stupid weapon. Jinx replies, but it's not stupid, Scarlett. This weapon is dangerous. It means something. It's exactly the reason we get into this business, to make a difference. Jinx goes on to say, I'm afraid all the time, constantly aching for home in a way I didn't even know was possible. But I also love this, down to the absolute deepest reaches of my soul. I'm so good at it, and it might be the only thing I'm good at, and it matters so much. I'm not kidding. Scarlett being here right now is important. It could make a difference. I don't know how much you know, but the Arashikage might be an enemy now, but they could be an ally down the line. With some of these things that are coming, we're going to need all the allies we can get. If me being here can make that happen, can prevent this weapon from falling into the wrong hands, that's everything. Scarlett asks, is the weapon going to the Arashikage for sure the right thing? Jinx replies, maybe not, but it's definitely better than the current alternative. Cobra. Scarlett says, what? What is that? Jinx says, it's a rising power. It's going to be a problem for anyone fighting for the free world. Scarlett asks, does that include Arashikage? Jinx replies, I don't know yet. I'm not sure they know yet. It's part of why I'm here. Oh God, we're almost out of time. I'm so sorry. Scarlett says, no, don't do that. We don't have time for that. Just stay smart, stay cool, stay alive. We'll get out of here. We will. Scarlett thinks everything in me wants to cry out with her, but even more than me, she has to stay icy cold or they will sniff her out. The only thing worse than getting myself killed on this mission, as if I came all the way and got her killed. Scarlett then says, wait, we shouldn't go to 44. There's no way the weapon is there. 44 is a code for like double death, right? The weapon was housed on 47, a much luckier floor than 44. Why then put it on 44 unless it's a trap? 48 would be luckier, more like 47. Plus, why announce its location by amassing all your forces there? And what better way to trick anyone observing than actually sending the weapon up when it looks like it went down? Jinx says, you're brilliant, beautiful. Scarlett and Jinx go to floor 48. Instead of using the door, they go through a panel. Scarlett was right. They overhear someone saying, if we can just get them on 44, we'll be fine. Jinx says, the buyer has arrived. Cobra's here. As Scarlett looks at the weapon, she thinks to herself, if she's not coming back with me, I'm at least going to see what's in the damn box. Scarlett is the first to climb out from behind the panel and hide beside a pillar. Then Jinx follows, using codes to say, remember Columbia, it's not likely to be forgotten. I hope this goes more smoothly than it has so far. Scarlett thinks to herself, they immediately fall back into their old rhythms. It feels good to fight alongside Jinx again. She missed it, and she can tell that Jinx has too. Scarlett and Jinx use their katanas to eliminate many Mugagami soldiers. Jinx radios Storm Shadow that they found the weapon when a squad of Cobra troopers storms in. The Cobra troopers are shooting at Scarlett and Jinx, pinning them down. One of the Cobra troopers reports, the area is not secure. I repeat, not secured. Secure the area now. Cobra Commander will not wait. The trooper continues. Command this, sir. The weapon is not secured. We cannot control the room without reinforcements. Scarlett responds, we just need a little help. Just then, Storm Shadow jumps out from the ducts. Storm Shadow is a game changer. With Jinx and Scarlett, they quickly use their katanas to eliminate all the soldiers as they fight in front of the weapon they are supposed to secure. Storm Shadow opens it, revealing the legendary weapon, Ichige no Ken, the Sword of Life. As he takes it for himself, Storm Shadow feels the power of the blade, filling him as if he was destined for its power. Watching him, Scarlett wonders if she made the right choice in helping the Arashikage clan. Storm Shadow declares, it is the fabled Sword of Life, the power of it, and the feeling of being destined to wield it, destined to rule all. Scarlett thinks to herself, I know I just helped him get that sword, but I can't shake this overwhelming sense of dread. Something about him claiming the sword feels like a game changer, perhaps not the kind we're hoping for. Next, Cobra Commander, presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics, Scarlett Volume 1, Issue 5, The Energon Universe. Final issues of miniseries. Everything that Scarlett, Storm Shadow, and Jinx have been planning comes to a head, and the future of the Energon Universe will change forever. The road to G.I. Joe 1 ends here. Presented by Skybound Entertainment, distributed by Image Comics, Scarlett Volume 1, Issue 5, The Energon Universe. At the Sato 3 Sakura on floor 48, Storm Shadow holds the Sword of Life in his hands. Scarlett watches cautiously from behind him. A Sato soldier says, "Hand over the sword, Arashikage. It does not belong to you." Storm Shadow replies, "You couldn't be more wrong about that." Storm Shadow slices through the soldier effortlessly, cutting him in half as if slicing through butter. He says, "The sword has been making its way to my hand since the day I was born, and you are but the first tribute to the Sword of Life greatness." Scarlett thinks to herself, the sword may have been misnamed. Jinx says, "Storm Shadow, we should leave before Cobra shows up," but it's too late. A blinding light shoots from a helicopter, causing Jinx and Scarlett to turn around and towards each other. Scarlett yells to the ninja team, "Take cover." A rocket is launched from the Cobra helicopter aimed directly at the ninja team. The explosion is catastrophic. The Cobra helicopter begins to land. As Scarlett slowly starts to get up, she realizes Jinx ran fast enough to avoid the explosion, but Scarlett is bleeding from the side of her abdomen. Scarlett is looking for Jinx and Storm Shadow when she is suddenly grabbed from behind. It is Storm Shadow is protecting her from Cobra troops with the Sword of Life firmly grasped in his hands. There are too many Cobra troops, and the ninja team agrees they must retreat, but there are only 2 parachutes for 3 ninjas. Storm Shadow says, "Stop bickering, dump your gear, and the 2 of you should be okay in one shoot." As the 3 ninjas run, Cobra Command has arrived at the battle scene and does not want to wait forever. He says, "So it seems I'll have to do it myself." There, the Energon is coming from there. Those are the fools who are trying to take it. He then fires his guns at the 3 ninjas. Scarlett questions, "Who is that?" Bullets are flying everywhere as Cobra Commander and the Cobra troopers spot the ninjas. A bullet hits Scarlett in the shoulder just as Storm Shadow jumps off the building saying, "See you on the ground, ladies." Jinx was about to lock onto the safety belt of Scarlett, but Scarlett pushes Jinx off split. Scarlett then jumps off the building thinking to herself, "Okay, Jinx saved my life. At this height and speed, we've got maybe 8 seconds. Please, please." She feels so close that she could almost touch Jinx as she tries to catch up. Jinx reaches her hand out to Scarlett, urging her to grab hold. Scarlett and Jinx catch each other, and together they pull the parachute, ensuring everything is secure. Scarlett thinks to herself that this was closer than she wants to admit as she holds on to Jinx for dear life. She reflects that pretty much everything that happened since she came to Japan has felt closer than she would like to acknowledge. She wonders if she's starting to normalize it and questions whether there's a level up or just insanity. When Jinx and Scarlett reach the ground, Storm Shadow is waiting for them. He states their location is 3 hours and then disappears. Scarlett replies, "Check." Scarlett thinks to herself she is not only has to hide from Cobra, but Storm Shadow might also have the Arashikage following her. She realized this could be her only chance to pass off intel to Snowjob, so she must manage all things at once. She reflects, never say I don't enjoy a challenge. She decides to change her look, move like nobody, and try not to die. Scarlett then enters a secondhand store and alters her appearance, even adding a mask. However, somewhere in Tokyo, Scarlett has lost any tails behind her, but Snowjob is still concerned for her as she looks beat up. Scarlett replies, "You don't know the half of it." She passes a burn bag to Snowjob and says, "I haven't really been able to look at what's inside. Most of it's coded. It's everything Jinx gave me. Plus I added what I could." Snowjob thanks Scarlett for giving him the intel, and Snowjob wants her to go with him, but she insists, "I can't leave her behind, Harlan. I thought I could, but I can't." Snowjob wants to bring Shanna Scarlett home. Scarlett tells him that Stalker's plan was crazy, but it worked. However, she explains that if she leaves right now, that Arashikage will close the doors and disappear if she leaves now. That's it. Jinx would be in there for a long, long time, and she can't have that. Snowjob is disappointed, but acknowledges, "You know I'm right. That's why I'm disappointed." He then adds, "When you ladies are ready, you call me. I'll get you out of there, even have to bring in everyone." Outside of Tokyo, Storm Shadow's plan is set into motion. The Arashikage have come to rescue Jinx, Storm Shadow, and Scarlett. They are all there, and now there are three. Back at the Arashikage stronghold, Storm Shadow leads the way with the Sword of Life, followed closely by Scarlett and Jinx, accompanied by the Arashikage ninjas. Storm Shadow says, "With our compliments, Hardmaster, we offer you the fabled Sword of Life. Return to Arashikage as we have always known it would be." The Hardmaster descends and replies, "So it will finally begin." The Hardmaster returns the Sword of Life to Storm Shadow while Scarlet and Jinx bow before him. The Hardmaster declares, "We will now enter a new phase of the Arashikage." Storm Shadow replies, "Yes, we shall." Scarlet still thinks to herself that this was unexpected. She naively assumed that the sword would go to the Hardmaster, and she can see from Jinx's expression that she had the same assumption. Why then does she have this horrible feeling in the pit of her stomach? As Storm Shadow raises the Sword of Life glowing with Energon, he shouts, "The future of Arashikage!" And everyone responds and screams, "Arashikage!" In this ominous tone, the cheers of Arashikage ninjas grow louder, shouting, "Arashikage! Arashikage!" Storm lifts the Sword of Life, which glows brightly as the ninjas rally around him. Jinx signals to Scarlet to stay cool, and Scarlet thinks to herself, "Yeah, no kidding." The crackling of the sword and the Energon sends energy and lightning coursing through the skies. Next, G.I. Joe, Volume 1, Issue 1, The Cobra Strikes. G.I. Joe is an ongoing comic series from Skybound Entertainment scheduled to debut in November 2024, the third ongoing title of the Energon Universe. The series continues the G.I. Joe and Cobra storylines, started by Duke, Cobra Commander, Scarlett, and Destro miniseries. Duke leads a special military force to combat the Energon-fueled world domination efforts of Cobra Commander.